like to keep it clean? No prying eyes to keep you honest. What do you hide when you hide with me? If you think you're clever, then you've never weathered anyone like me. I've been training all my life. Guess your numbers aren't right. Cause when she calls mine, I'm not gonna lie. Those pretty eyes, are you scared now? You can't erase all the things you've seen. Do you like my shells and all my monsters? Now you're my latest favorite thing. Do you wanna play, misbehave, say the ways you plan to hurt me, abuse and drain me dry? Now you wanna know if you'll make it out alive. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Don't you want my affection? I thought you said you were mine. Won't you join my collection? La 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 la, you'll be fine. Oops. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
All right, good evening, everybody. Hey, Jay, good to see you. Oh, man, welcome everybody to the TTRPG Theater. I am your host, Rob Phantom NJ, and sooner or later this camera will decide what it wants to do. Yes, I did get Selena. I've got both of the character sheets. So we'll see. That's going to be interesting. It's been a while since I played two characters, so not a problem. At least they're not both spellcasters, because that would be that'd be a little confusing. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, no, I hear that. All right, let's see. So yeah, it's been a busy week already. We are here on Thursday once again, and made for an interesting weekend. For those of you who are going to GaryCon, they dropped the bomb at like the last minute, maybe one day ahead of time, saying that with the exception of the Grand Geneva and the the lodge, there was a Timber Ridge or whatever it's called. All the other hotel blocks went on sale. At the same time, gold and silver badges did. So that was fun. But yeah, no, that was, and of course, I was worried enough, basically being away from home, away from my really fast internet connection. Yeah, I was not the only one with, some questioning as to why that happened. I'm not entirely enthused about the answer. I'm not entirely sure that the answer made all that much sense, but that's another thing. Hey, Ty, good to see you. But yeah, so it's like suddenly I was worried about getting a gold badge because I knew I'd be on hotel internet. Now I'm worried about getting a gold badge and whether or not I'm going to be able to get a hotel room or get a hotel room that I wanted. So that was a bit it was nerve-wracking to say the least. I mean, the gold badge, honestly, for me, the gold badge, main thing is skipping the silver badge line because I know they've done a lot of work and they've done what they can to optimize it. I have no desire to stand in line for half an hour to 45 minutes for just to get my badge. I really don't. It's not the ideal way for me to start my GaryCon experience each year. I did it once. I don't ever want to do that again. Hey, Keith, good to see you. So, I'm sitting at the hotel. And I'm like, all right, well, first of all, for the first time in my life, I paid the little upcharge for the faster hotel internet. Well, that's cool. Where are you taking the shuttle from, Ty? Because I mean, I haven't. The one time that I stayed off the property was the first year, and I had a vehicle going back and forth, and we were in Eichhorn at the Holiday Inn, which was nice. It was really easy to get to and from. It only took about 5 to 10 minutes. Parking, parking was probably easier back then. The parking situation wasn't as bad. The only thing was it was one of the colder GaryCons. Actually, I think the first GaryCon I went to was the coldest of all of them that I've been to. So occasionally waiting for the trolley was was an interesting situation. But other than that, it was fine. After that, I've been, I've been once in Timber Ridge. I've been in the Grand Geneva, and then a couple of times in the Vacation Club. So I actually paid the $4.95 fee at the hotel for the faster internet, and to their credit, the faster internet was actually faster than was legitimately faster than the regular internet. I don't know what kind of connection they have, but I was getting 8 megabits up and down, so I couldn't really complain. It was, it's not fast, but it's not crawling. That's cool. I mean, using their Airbnbs. I know a number of people who use Airbnb, so and they enjoy it. I like. Yeah, I love the Vacation Club. Honestly, it's perfect for me. I've got room to spread out. This year, I swear to myself that I am not bringing stuff to paint because it never actually happens. And if I do bring stuff to paint, it's going to be a very, very limited thing, like a few bottles and maybe a few pieces, and I'll still never get to it, but, I'm telling myself this now, but I know what's going to happen when the time comes. I need to do a better job of packing the miniatures that I actually need, because one of the things that was an issue was I brought a miniature case, and it took up like most of one of the bags, and it's a good travel case for miniatures. But it was too large to basically fit in the underseat thing, and I didn't want to. I already had a carry-on. I got to figure out, make sure that I'm making bringing just enough miniatures with me. I don't need to bring 30 miniatures that I don't need, and so on and so forth, and figure that part out ahead of time. And the thing is, I want to bring a few terrain pieces. I'm never going to be like the full on terrain crazy for GaryCon. I would have to like ship it and all that stuff. But I bring a few terrain pieces, just enough so that at least the final battle feels special. Wherever the final thing is going to take place, I'll have some stuff set up there. So I want to try to do a better job of planning that out ahead of time. Now, again, I was on the site, and the thing that I've learned about GaryCon and signing up for tabletop events is one thing you have to do is slow down to speed up. Because what will kill you in trying to do the GaryCon Gold Badge is making mistakes. And if you rush, you are going to make mistakes because there are things that you are going to miss. You're going to forget to click. Your typing is going to be bad, and you'll have to go back and do it again. At which time you probably have lost your gold badge. Your shot at a gold badge. I got it right the first time. I managed to get my gold badge, and I still managed to get a room at the vacation club. I think it might have been helped the fact that the vacation club is the very last hotel listed on the page. But yeah, I managed to get a vacation club and did it all within 2 minutes because the gold badges were gone in less than a minute. And thankfully, I also got lucky because the tabletop event site did not hang at all. I will say that I was impressed. It did not hang at all. I refreshed it exactly, at exactly 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, and came right up and went right into it. But yeah, so I've got my GaryCon thing. Now the next thing I need to do is come up with names and brief descriptions of the adventures that I'm going to run. This would be a lot easier if I just ran random one-shots, but I don't do that. They're all part of the campaign. So I have to think about that a little more than I normally would. I might put in a general thing. Hey, Taryn. Good to see you. Welcome. Hey, Savage Splendor. Welcome in. Taryn, I hope you're doing okay. I know you are much more in the thick of the smoke area than most of us are. I know there might be others that I'm not quite aware of that are close, but woof. Brad, will help with which part? I mean, I'm always up for. You spelled like you have a bonfire. Yeah, the sky here is like reddish gray, and there's a bit of that here. The air quality here is not great, so I can't. And I'm a fair bit, couple hundred, 400, 500 miles south of you, so I can't even begin to imagine what it's like up there. Oh, well, I mean, scenarios. I'm not. I appreciate that, Brad. I'm not really worried about that. I will come up with it. Come up with them. And again, they're part of the campaign, so I need to figure out what I want to do. Not when you're. Hey, Dragon, good to see you. Oof, yeah. It's just, man. It's terrible. Well, that's fantastic. The fact that you have to choose is also part of the problem, but that's a different thing altogether. It's terrible. Hopefully they get that under control because it's just you don't want to have to be dealing with that for too long. They actually moved up the Mets game tonight. I think it's tonight. The Mets game got moved up to 6 o'clock from 7 o'clock or 7:30, whenever it was supposed to start, because the air quality's that means the air quality is supposed to get worse. It's like what? I don't even know what to make of that. It's a Philly. Someone on Threads had told me that the Mets game had gotten. Oh, they're playing in Philadelphia, right? Okay, I forgot that the Mets were playing the Phillies. Okay, yeah, yeah, and considering you're south of me, that's not exactly encouraging either. Oh my goodness, what the hell? Every time I hear about fires, I think about Bloodwild, who is out in the West Coast and was entirely too close to the fires that they had out there for years for anyone's liking. So I haven't talked to him in a while. I've got to check in, see how he's doing. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, GaryCon is a go. At this point, all I have left to do is all I have left to do, honestly, is get my plane tickets and get a what do you call it, and then as we get closer, rent a car. And GaryCon will be completely a go. I'll put in for my time off as we get to the end of the year. But yeah. The that's crazy. 175 fires and all of them are out of control. That's awful. Man, that's terrible. I hope they find a way to get them under control so that you all get some you get some real air to breathe, and just be careful out there, please. Don't exert yourself in this nuttiness, because breathing bad air just not a good thing at all. It tastes like 177. Oh man. Oh, and why is I do like this camera, but I swear to God, every time I do a firmware update on it, I end up needing to go redo settings again because now it's like constantly tracking every time I move. Like, yeah, it'd be floating. It's like, stop that. Just stop, please. Oh man. 850 active wildfires throughout Canada. You guys are closing in on one wildfire for every person. What are you doing up there? Kidding. All right, so let's turn off the AI tracking and see if that stops nonsense. All right, we'll see how that does. Well, hey Chris, good to see you. It's Savage. It's not a matter of how popular it's getting, because GaryCon is going to sell out every year by the time the event arrives. One thing that they actually did, which is causing a bit of a brouhaha, is they actually, in order to make room for more people to be able to come and play games, they got rid of spectator tickets this year. They still have the children's ticket for younger kids, but they got rid of the spectator ticket this year because there are always people who are they'd rather more people there playing. There's been some talk about ways as far as how much attention they're going to be paying to people who are just standing around and watching. So that may be one of those things where they just kind of do a nudge, wink, wink with regards to spectators. But from a cost perspective, the hotels can get pricier. Though honestly, if you're depending on where you're in where you are in central New York, driving and not flying might be an option for you. Yeah, no, they got rid of the spectator badge. So I don't know, and which of course the problem with that comes with regards to, you know, if you're allowed to like stand around and watch and like help out people or whatever, but not play without a badge, that's fine. The bigger problem comes if you want to visit the vendor hall, because the vendor hall you does require a badge. So I don't know what's going to come of that eventually. Spectator couldn't get in the exhibition hall. No, the problem is they're hitting up against. I don't know why they wouldn't let spectators in the vendor hall. Actually, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why that would be. But yeah, no, it's they got rid of the spectator badge. So, but you know, the silver badge, I don't think that the badges actually have gone up in price over year. Now, there's been a couple of hotels that got caught. One of the hotels really got caught gouging, like their prices went up times 3 for GaryCon. So that, you know, that was got called out pretty quickly. I think it's like the American Inn in Eichhorn went from like $133 normally to $427. I was like, what the hell are you? What do you guys think you're you know, a DoubleTree? What is this? Like, what do you think, you're a DoubleTree in London? You're in Lake Geneva, people. Come on. I mean, even yeah, the Lake Geneva Ritz. I mean, even the Vacation Club wasn't that expensive. The Vacation Club was a little bit more expensive than that if it wasn't the GaryCon block. But I think my Vacation Club room suite ended up. I think it ended up being like $200 a night or something like that. But yeah, no, I mean, GaryCon itself, the prices themselves really haven't gone, other than the hotel flukiness, really hasn't gone up. It's not really any more or less expensive than it's than been in past years. Not as far as I can tell. I might be missing something, but I think it's been about the same amount. All right, Ty, thank you so much. I will catch you later. Thanks for dropping in. I'm looking forward to it, though. It's nice to get that part down. Then, you know, next is the badges, and then not badges. Next is getting my game submitted, and once once they start opening the tickets, and I don't have to worry about, you know, picking my games until January. I think gold doesn't open. You know, the gold tickets don't release until like January or something like that. I think I'm normally on vacation when the January tickets are available for the individual games. So at that point, it's more a matter of deciding, deciding are there any games that in the evenings that I absolutely need to sign up for. I already do have one Tower of Gygax game scheduled. I will not be discussing which session that is. I'm going to give it a bit so that others can sign up to run Tower Gygax sessions. I probably will run a second one. I'd like to run a second one, but again, you know, I want to see let others get theirs in, and maybe give it a few weeks, and then I'll revisit and take a look and see if there's another time slot that I'd like to fill and run it, because running Tower Gygax was a lot of fun. Brad, what are you running and like when? I'm not against it. I'm not sure Grindhouse is up my alley. One of the nice things is I'm at the point where, like, the various special DMs and GMs that I've wanted to sign up for games for, I've had the opportunity to play with most of them already. So there's like not much left on that front. 5e all weekend again. All right. I'm not against playing a 5e game. I play them here and there. It's not not my favorite thing in the world, but it's a game, and I enjoy playing it. I'll never run it again, but I do enjoy playing it every so often. I have to remind myself of all the rules and all the stuff, and 5A. Just one of those things. But yeah, no, my games will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Saturday, and Sunday I take off. I am coming in again on Wednesday, the day before, as I normally do, and all things being equal, I'll do my normal arriving maybe 2 hours, an hour or two before badges, before the badge lines are open. So just enough time to get myself checked in and then go back up for the badges. And I am staying again till Monday. So I will be there. I will be there through the entire weekend. Coming back on the Monday, which is nice because I think that made a hell of a lot of difference for me this past year, in that I wasn't feeling great when I arrived. I was where everyone else was getting sick. I was feeling a lot better by the time I left, and not having the stress of trying to fit everything in and being able to relax and realize that I have time to spend with people on the Sunday. The extra day made a big difference for me. Well, that'd be cool. Eventually doing a CNC game. It's easy enough to run. If you can play it, you can run it. As if you've run any other game, if you're used to running games. Yeah, normally I come home with the plague. Normally, like the one, I don't remember it wasn't this the year, but the year before, I think it was, I had signed up for Wiley's game, and that was this year where I was coming back on a Sunday, and I signed up for Wiley's game at 9 a.m. on the Sunday morning. That was just dumb on my part, honestly. Mostly because of the fact that meant I was going to have to do extra work in terms of making sure I was ready to get up and be checked out by the time it was time to go to his game. But I woke up and I was like, yeah, no, my body's just like, no, I can't do this. And so I sent him a message like, dude, I'm not feeling up to it. Oh no, yeah, this year I was fine when I got back. The year before I was not. And then there was a few years ago where I came back and I had COVID, so that was fun. Hey, Tarva, good to see you. How are you doing, Keisha? I need to. In other news, yes, let's get to the other news, because I am playing in Jay's game tonight and on Saturday. And looks like I'm going to be playing two of my characters. So that's going to be fun. I got you. Yeah, I hear you. Ooh, yeah, no, it sucks. So what was I saying? Yeah, so I'll be playing two characters. It looks like I'm playing two characters anyway. I'll be playing Gom and Selena, so my barbarian and my what do you call it? And my Earth Elementalist. So I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that. And August 16th, the Righteous Hands will be returning. I've got that scheduled. It's the one day that I know that at least 4 out of 6 can make it. So, and it's the 4 who are there the most regularly. I've got a couple of people to check in on, but we will have our first definite Righteous Hands game for the Embers of Empire campaign on Sunday, August 16th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that, looking forward to that. I do still need, now that I have that, I'm still working on dates for a game with Amanda and Gianna, Show Me the Dice and Cherry Blossom, to bring their characters back. I'm trying to figure out when they're available because they're everywhere now. Has been tricky. So, and they both obviously have their own personal lives beyond that. So, need to get the two of them. And then once I have the two of them nailed down as far as when we can have a session, I'll figure out who's going to play with them. I'm not against having both of them by themselves. I thought about that, Brad. Honestly, that might get out of control because the two of them are extremely active on the roleplay front. And that's not to say that others aren't active on the roleplay front, but I want to, I kind of need a group that on that end is going to match their energy. And because I don't want it to be where I've got 2 or 3 people doing all the roleplay and everybody else is being quiet the entire time. It's hard enough doing that in Friday Night Crusades. Doing that on a stream game just feels bad. So, I'd like to try to find groups that work well in terms of having like the same energy level, for and have the same kind of play style too. Really. Besides, the Splinters of Fate, you have that's a pretty sizable group already. What do I have? I have like 5 of you that I'm already clear on. Oh, I'm sure you would. I'm sure you'd probably need another. Yeah, you'd probably need another character, but I need to figure that out. They're and again, the type of adventure that they're going to go on is probably going to be a fair bit different than a lot of the standard adventures, just because if I don't make it different, they're going to make it different on me. Which is perfectly fine. I know what I'm getting into. I knew what I was getting into the last time. I will certainly keep that in mind. But yeah, no. Once I have that nailed down, then I can get the split. I'll know what dates are available for Splinters of Fate, and we can nail that down. And then I really need to make sure that I get Chris's Tritherion follower class done. I've been amiss in getting that done, but I think it's because I've been telling myself it's not a big rush because I don't have a date for when they're playing yet, for when the game's going to be played yet. I do know his availability is pretty open for various Sundays, so that part is helpful. I've got 4 entries so far. We do have a giveaway for Trollword Games, $10 gift card. Trollword Games is the sponsor of the channel and also the sponsor of the Summer of Siege, which again, the August 16th game will be a Summer of Siege game. So there will be giveaways for that as well, which is cool. August 16th, and any other games that I can get scheduled for the summer will also be included. Tomorrow night in the Discord, Friday Night Crusades will be returning after a week off. And at this point, we should be good pretty much through the summer. I don't think I have anything else planned in terms of Friday nights off. The only thing I can see you messing with that is possibly going down to my parents one weekend. But that's kind of going to matter on my brother coming to visit my parents and bringing the kids, and then going down there, and it'll be depending on like when they're going and what their availability is and so on. So we'll see how that goes. But Friday Night Crusades in the Discord, should be good. Also, as the stream just mentioned, I do have a YouTube channel. Actually, I need to export some of the recent videos from here. All of my content gets all my streamed Twitch content gets exported to YouTube. So all of the streamed versions of the Embers of Empire campaign are there. They are labeled, so basically there is a playlist available for you for the campaign if you want to follow it from beginning to present time. If you'd be so kind, if you haven't already, if you could go to my YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. I'm still trying to get to 100 subscribers, which would be extremely helpful. I'm under the understanding that more tools become available for me when I hit 100 subscribers. I'm not looking to go huge. I just would like to get to at least that mark. And again, it also doesn't cost you anything, so there is that. And it's amazing. I was thinking about it, like trying to do the righteous hand stuff. It's like, got the GaryCon badge, got the hotel set up, got to put my games in, and then virtual GreyhawkCon is quickly creeping up. It's still just over 2 months away, 2.5 months away, but it's coming on fast, people. It is coming on fast. Yep, 2.5 weeks. Which will mark another anniversary for the Embers of Empire campaign. Yeah, Jay, boy, it's ridiculous how fast this goes. But yeah, we will have the next anniversary of the Embers of Empire campaign, which will be, I think, the 3rd anniversary. So we'll be entering year 4, I believe. And that will be another, that's going to be another long stream, probably another, a 6-hour long game. The years, as they tend to do, Savage, as they tend to do. I mean, the first, for me, it's funny. It used to be that the summer was a blur. But it's gotten to the point where, because of the con thing, it's the cons and the planning for the cons and all that. Once we get around, the closer we get to virtual GreyhawkCon, once virtual GreyhawkCon comes, then it's a race, because next thing you know, we're getting ready for the holidays, and there's the holiday rush and trying to get all the stuff in before the holidays. And then you've got the fundraiser, and right after the fundraiser is, normally have vacation time in there. Then there's the fundraiser, and then next thing you know, it's GaryCon time, and and then the process starts again. It's like 6 months gets compressed so very. Oh yeah, that's right. There's also Paige in there. I've got a hotel room for Paige. I don't have a ticket for Paige. I've not bought a badge for Paige. I do have a hotel room just in case. I'm still on the fence. I'm still very, 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 very much on the fence. Amanda and Gianna were asking me if I was going, so I probably will. Hey, Greg, good to see you, Justinius. Thank you for coming. Lord Forth, good to see you. So chances are I will end up going to Paige. And then it's just a matter of, if I do that, I'll get a silver badge and pray that I'm actually able to get in anything I care about. It's a thing. I'm the whole paying per game annoys the hell out of me. Always has, and it's not like Paige is very comfortable. I did Cyberpunk. I actually did Cyberpunk last year, this past year at Paige. I played my first Cyberpunk Red game. That was fun. Had a good time. It also helps that I knew I also knew the GM and the players, so that I knew I was going to have a good time, so I didn't have to worry about who was running it and such. But yeah, no, I did play. I did get to play Cyberpunk. I also got to play in a Carlos Slicing game in person. Oh, nice! That's awesome. Very, very cool. You're run. Are you streaming this, or are you running it on stream, off stream, in person on Discord? What are you doing? Details, man. Details. Can't just drop something like that without more information. Oh, go incognito. Why would you go incognito, sir? How the hell am I supposed to buy you a beer if you're going to do it incognito? Well, that's cool. Doing it in person, having an in person game is awesome. It really is. Yeah. Oh man, I listen. If the guy who you end up making spend money isn't going to be one of the people making threats, I don't think you have to worry. I mean, I'm the one you end up costing money because it's a lot. It's a lot cheaper for you to supply Jay than it is for me to keep the rest of the party supplied. Oh. Oh. One of these years, there may be a month where I am not the top bits giver. I'm not sure when that month is going to be yet. But yeah, no, dude. If you come down to Page, we'll have a good old time. We'll go find somewhere. I think Page requires us to find some place to go, and maybe a little bit off the beaten path. Find a place to go, get dinner, and have some drinks and whatever. The hotel bar, even the hotel, the main hotel. I'm not at the main one. I'm at the other one. I'm at the Hampton Inn. The other one, it's too crowded. The bar gets overwhelmed. There's not enough places to sit. It's like I'd rather us all pack up and go take a drive to one of the many establishments in the area and go have some drinks and be able to chat and relax and not and be able to hear ourselves talk, which would be cool. But yeah, no, unfortunately, the issues I have with Page are never going to go away. So it's a matter as long as there are enough people there that I like, I probably will end up going back. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, there's also the one down in Vineland, but while it's in state, it's not really any easier to get to for me than Page's. It's probably about the same time. Page, even though it's in Pennsylvania as opposed to Vineland being in southern Jersey, Page might actually be easier to get to. Vineland has better weather, the one in May, but the problem is it's in May, which is not a good month for me. That's not terrible. I've driven farther than that. For lesser things, too. Ask me about my trips for the old Blue Box cons, where hosted at a house where it should have been 13-hour trip. One of them took 17 hours because people in Tennessee don't know how to drive at all. It's awful. I'm pretty sure that they get their driver's licenses out of a Cracker Jack box. You can drive 10 hours in Texas and still be in Texas. I mean, for crying out loud. From Iowa, it would probably be about 9 to 10 hours, Brad. Maybe a little longer. I mean, depends on what part of Iowa. If you're in eastern Iowa, honestly, the worst part. I mean, honestly, if you're in eastern Iowa, well, something. No, let me rephrase that. It's going to take you a while because I just realized the fact that you're going to need to go through the entirety of Pennsylvania. So while getting past Chicago, is just a general traffic problem. Um, you're going to get to Pennsylvania, and then you've got to go from basically northwestern. You have to diagonally go across Pennsylvania, which sucks. So yeah, no, forget what I said about that. It's um, then again, then again, maybe not. Because now that I think about it, if I remember correctly, what it told me for getting to for Lake Geneva from me was like 13 hours or 14 hours. And it really getting to where Paige is wouldn't really be, if you're in eastern part of Iowa, and especially if you're really really eastern Iowa, Cedar Rapids or further east, you're eh, 10, 10 hours or so. Driving to central Pennsylvania is terrible because they're all like direct north south roads. You basically it's like you're either driving on 80 at the top or 76/70 at the bottom. There's nothing, and then there's like no good diagonal interstate. It's all straight north south. Chris, did I remember correctly that you're down in Texas? Brad, you wouldn't be dealing with the Amish. I mean, you'd be going near Amish areas, but you wouldn't be driving through Amish areas, or at least not getting off the high. Oh yeah, you're down in here. One of these days, I need to get down to Houston, mostly because, well, one of these days I might end up like going down to Houston, because my manager, one of my managers is currently down there. So if we ever get the chance to travel, we've talked about doing like a team trip or whatever, and possibly going down to Houston. It's called "Don't Get Off the Highway," Brad. Don't get off the interstate. At least until it's really officially time for you to get off the interstate. As long as you can do that, you'll be okay. Down in Houston, what I really want to do is I don't know if it's TikTok or Instagram or just does one and exports to both. There's an older guy there that Countess Dine with Kent, and he just goes to all these different restaurants, all these different eateries and whatever, for all these cuisines from all around the world. And I didn't realize all the variety they have down in the Houston area, but my goodness, I need to, I've been like saving up the locations that he's going to because I want to go to all these places because I want all the good food. Oh man. Yes, I love good food. Uh, Houston, yeah, I've heard that you can basically drive 2 hours in Houston and still not leave Houston. I've been to Houston once. I went down for baseball games. I went to the older the one that they just tore down in Arlington. But I flew into Dallas Fort Worth, drove down to Round Rock to visit a friend of mine from. He was a guildie in Star Wars: Old Republic slash as well as in World of Warcraft. Went to visit him. We did Franklin's Barbecue in Austin. One day we drove down to Franklin's Barbecue in Austin. Then I drove back up to Arlington to go to the two baseball games, and then drove from Arlington down to Houston. And from Houston, what did I do from Houston? That's right. I drove back up. I think I drove back up to Arlington. Either that or I drove from Houston all the way up to Dallas Fort Worth. I did something. But I think I flew both in and out of Dallas Fort Worth because I don't think the airlines that I like had a flight from Houston. So that was a trip. Put 800 miles in the span of on a vehicle in the span of 5 days. Driving by myself, so that was fun. But yeah, no, got to go to the old ballpark at Arlington, which I forgot what it was called. By the time they tore it down, and then Minute Maid Park at least it was Minute Maid Park then in Houston. I was not impressed with that ballpark at all. Very disappointed. The food options were terrible for a ballpark in Houston. I was like, what is this? And the seats were even worse. But that's me and another ballpark rant, which you guys got a taste of the other. Was it last week or the week before? All right. I know that Jay's getting started, so I am going to go to stream ending, and we're going to get the giveaway. Last chance to enter! ! Ticket to enter. $10 digital product coupon to Trollard Games, and doing that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closing the giveaway and drawing a winner. All right, Savage Splendor. Town, thank you so much for hanging with us. I miss you. I was so happy we got to play with you a few weeks back. I need to find a way to find some time to jump on one of your streams when things are slow. But it's good to see you. Hey, well, yeah, cool. You guys are here in order to help make the raid into Jay's channel look that much bigger. So I appreciate all of you. Oh, man. I will be playing tonight. Playing Gom the Confident, and I think I'm also playing Selena, my Earth Elementalist. So this is going to be fun. In that case, I will see you all in a little bit, and then I will see some of you tomorrow night for Friday Night Crusades, and then I will see the rest of you on Saturday, and then for another game with Jay, and then next week. In any case, see you on the flip side.